going live.
All right, here we go. We're switched back to
As long as you
us.
put the Discord in the background, it should stay the same.
Let me try to switch that.
You can just minimize, not minimize, but you can have Windows on top of Discord and it'll stay the same.
I'm trying to see what episode it is. We're live now, and I can't find my thing. 37? I think 37. All right.
It is 37, yeah.
This is what I always edit out of the audio, so thank God.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 37 of the Link Cable Gaming Podcast. I, myself, Kevin, is back with Alex and returning host, co-host Mike from Mike's Nerd Cave. Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing?
Oh, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Is that the right term?
Yes. I like that.
Okay, friend of the show, Mike from Mike's Nerd Cave.
I'm starting to feel comfortable over here. It's fun coming on.
So how are you guys doing? How's your Sunday evening going?
Pretty good. It's I know for me personally, it's been a little busy, but it's good now. I know Alex said he's drinking some coffee to stay awake. I'm just drinking some decaf myself.
Some decaf. I have a Pure Leaf brewed tea, and I put in pure grapefruit, which is just like dried grapefruit, and it is tart. It's definitely keeping me awake. Don't know if I'd recommend that. I usually do pure lemon, so maybe I would probably stick with that, but Kruger had a sale. I thought I would try something new. But yeah, nice. We have a fun, exciting show tonight. Most of the news comes upon the heels of the official eating of Bethesda from Microsoft, or whatever cool terms you want to say about that. There's a ton going on with that, with announcements, new Games Pass games, the stories we're going to talk about the FPS boost for some of those games itself that Bethesda is now bringing over to Game Pass because they are owned by Microsoft, and we're going to get into that. But before we do any of that stuff, let's talk about what we have done over the last week. How about Alex? You want to go first this week and tell us what fun and stuff you've done over there?
Could I ask a quick question first?
No. Okay,
Sorry.
sure.
Oh, okay. It's fine. No, I was gonna say also, if anyone's in chat, throw in games you guys are playing this week too. Let us know.
Oh yes, let us know. Yeah, we're gonna get better at the chat. That's something that I am not very good at. I don't communicate with. I
figured that'd be fun.
Mike scolded me after the show last week. Was like, "What the hell are you doing? You don't interact with the chat." He was throwing stuff at his own screen, thinking he could hit me.
I was just excited because I was in the chat and I was like, "Hey guys, I played this game."
And I'm gonna be better about this. So I'm gonna be chatting with you guys. So you guys better be responding. Here I am. I'm bright and high.
You can't.
There we go.
You can't threaten them.
That was threatening.
Get back to
love.
Alex.
That's
Cut
fine.
him off.
Okay. Yeah, Alex is so excited. He's got all his props ready and everything like he does. All right, yeah, Alex.
Sure.
What's going on, buddy?
What have I played? So played a couple games. Nothing like. Nothing like jaw-dropping, like, oh my god, this is kind of a slow time, like we're kind of in between big releases. But we did a Mario Kart 8 tournament at my day job, which was super fun. Got to play some Mario Kart 8. I hadn't played Mario Kart 8 in like an age, like it just been forever. And so I just want to take a minute to appreciate that Mario Kart 8 is an amazing game. Like, it's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was putting it on the Switch and just playing it again, I was like, yeah, I remember why this game is like one of my favorite games of all time now. Like, yeah. It's I fell out of playing it, and it's but yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really want Mario Kart 9 now. Like, I'm ready for a new Mario Kart at this point.
I wanted to be cynical and make some kind of
8.
joke about this game's been launched twice in 2 console generations. It better be good by now.
I was gonna say 2013.
Yeah, the game that just keeps on giving.
I played hundreds of hours on the Wii U, and I played hundreds of hours on the Switch. I played this game forever. I don't really get tired of it. I love this game.
I think that game is a lot of fun. I think that another podcast I listened to, and I can't remember who brought this up on whatever show it was, but they
dare you listen to other podcasts?
They started to like introduce like other characters outside of the Mario universe into it, like other Nintendo characters. Like, I really wish it would just stop being Mario Kart and just be like Super Smash Brothers Mario Kart or something, where it's like, like wouldn't
Smash
that be
Kart?
great? Yeah, like Smash Kart or something. I don't know, whatever you'd call it. But
especially since they put the Ultimate moniker in there,
like, they've got like everything now.
Follow it up
because they added Zelda and they've added. Wasn't there something else, or is it just Zelda?
Animal Crossing and Inklings.
And
Inklings, that's what I was thinking of. That's
another way they could look at this, and I'm amazed they haven't done it with this or Mario Party, is this game has sold on the Switch alone now like 33, 34 million.
Yeah.
Throw a DLC of like 5 characters out for $20.
Yeah.
And it'll print money. Like it's like, oh, yeah, everybody has the game.
Even if like 1/8 of the people did it, that's still more than most game sales of other games.
If it was like 4 characters and 2 new maps, people would pay $20 for that for Mario Kart.
I don't know why they don't keep expanding on it. They could just print money.
Easy. That is such an easy sell.
33 million times $20 is the possibility there.
That's crazy.
That's big. Yeah.
It's like Smash DLC. Like, it doesn't matter who Smash DLC is so weird because they sell it to you without even knowing who the characters are most of the time. Like, you just buy a fighter's pass being like, I hope I like the characters.
Well,
people don't care. They'll just buy it.
People do that.
So, yeah,
including myself.
Exactly.
Just do that for Mario Kart. It prints money. Just do it. So I played a bit of Mario Kart. That was at work, but then I came home and I'm like, I want to scratch that Mario Kart itch. I played a bit more of that. And then I played Super Mario 35. I got a notification that like, hey, you've got 2 more weeks to play this, and then we're killing off Mario. It's over. So I played more Super Mario 35, and I won my first game again. So
nice.
For long-time listeners, I don't know if you remember when this game came out, and I was like on like a 20-game winning streak with this.
Wow.
Wow.
I really like Super Mario 35. I mean, you kind of get into like a nice little strategy where if you stick to level 1-1 and you just keep cycling through, and you kind of pick up so many coins, and people keep throwing enemies at you, but since it's such a flat level, you just get a star and you run through them, and it's just kind of this nice little strategy.
Yeah.
So I'm giving away my pro tips.
Isn't that game like leaving soon? Like, isn't that gonna be
March?
A couple days, yeah.
That's sad.
March 31st.
That's so sad.
Yeah, well, Nintendo's killing Mario on March 31st, right? Like that's it. It's over.
That's the
Yeah,
end.
it's the funeral.
Yeah. Goodbye.
And then Zelda. That means Zelda's will be 1 year from now.
April 1st. We'll just start Zelda.
We'll start the slow countdown to Zelda's funeral after 35 years, and then they're just gonna make 2 new IPs. That's how it works.
Just
every
how it
35 years.
Yeah, played a bit of that. I mean, it's kind of a fun game to go back to, but it does get repetitive after a while because you're just playing the same levels over and over again. But it was fun. And then I'm working on a couple of reviews for the website that'll go up this week. I'm working on, oh god, what is this game called? It has the most generic name, Stronghold Warlords. Has the most generic name of a game ever, but it's not bad. It's an RTS. It's a PC RTS. I like those. It's kind of like what are those? Total War games. Kind of plays like that. It's a grand strategy game.
Yeah.
So I like it's an early preview of the review. It's pretty good. I think it's fine.
Sounds thrilling.
I'm having a good time with it. But then I'm also playing season 2 of 3 out of 10. So 3 out of 10, for those who don't know, is this kind of like, it's an episodic adventure game that is, you're basically working at the world's worst video game development studio, and the best game they ever made was scored a 3 out of 10.
Wait, that's what it means?
They're trying to develop a game that gets better than that on Metacritic.
Oh.
I had no idea what the 3 out of 10 meant.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is season 2 of that. Season 1, I played, the reviews on the website. But season 2 it's more of the same. I love it. I really like this game. It's really funny. It's kind of structured like a sitcom where it's 5 episodes and they're each half an hour long, and they all have a lot of like walking around and talking to your coworkers, but then they also have like a gameplay section, and it's always like a parody of another type of game. So like you might be playing a platformer, or you might be playing a one-on-one fighting game. It's always like a parody of something.
Yeah.
And the joke is that they're thinking, like, they get into these worlds and they could make these amazing games, but they're stuck on this stupid auto runner shark surfing game that they think is going to just be the best thing ever. But they like visit all these better ideas, and it's just kind of the same joke, but it's good. I like it a lot. So
I feel like it's making fun of some real life devs in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like they had a company visit them that it was like they were I think they were called YGN. It was like a game reviewing company. And they came over, and it was just like making fun of like us game reviewers, like
Yeah.
you know, the kind of things that we always like harp on games for, that to be honest, some gamers just never really even clue into.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. I really like 3 out of 10. I think episode 1 is free on the Epic Game Store. Like, or it's either free or it's super cheap. So yeah, definitely check that one out.
Cool.
It is really funny. That's great. Yeah, that's it for me. That's all I did.
Nice.
Cool.
Good week.
Then I was gonna say something and I looked at the chat. See, this is why I can't do chat. It distracts me. I was gonna say something and I'm like, Stronghold,
I will handle chat.
Something.
Nice.
It'll come back.
Yeah, I don't know. Kevin, do you want to go next, or you want me to jump in?
I'll go next. I'll let you headline tonight and be the cool guy, since I always accidentally make myself the important one to go last, but I don't really think to do it. So, all right, I have my little list here. So I have this is really exciting, guys. I've been trying to find a 2DS XL, which I think I mentioned last week, and it's not going well. I cannot find one at all that is within a reasonable price point. It's been awful. I've been trying to find some 2DS games, some DS games and 3DS games. That has also not been going very well. The only game on my big list of things that I've been able to find was Bravely Second. A guy on another podcast I listened to owns a game store in a town in Fremont, Ohio. And lo and behold, my friend, so I'm in Michigan. Ohio is just south of us, and we hate Ohio, so I don't go there. But my buddy is dating a girl who is in Ohio and has been going and seeing her repeatedly. And I'm texting him, like, where do you stay when you go to Ohio, man? Like, where are you at? He's like, oh, he's in this town. I Google it. It's within 15 minutes of the store this guy owns that I hear in the podcast. I'm like, no shit. Like, could I have you go pick something up for me there? He's like, yeah, okay. So I messaged the guy on Twitter. His name's Kevin. Ironic. And I was like, hey, do you have this game? He goes, yeah, I got Bravely Second, $17. I'm like, all right, I have someone coming over to pick it up right now. So I sent my buddy over there, and I'm going to be getting that hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so when I see him next. So that's kind of fun. So I found one of the games I've been looking for.
But Bravely Second is really, really good. You'll love that one. It's really good.
So I bought Bravely Default 2. I have that on Switch, but I haven't started it yet because I started to be like, I want to finish Bravely Default 1, which I never did. And then I never played Bravely Second. So I pulled out my 3DSs and I started playing Bravely Default again. So I feel pretty good about that. But I still want to get this damn 2DS XL because I really want to. I've been seeing people modding it and doing some different things. And I just kind of want to play with it and just have it in general. It looks cool. And I know if I wait much longer, it's going to even go up higher in price because they weren't for sale for very long.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was the 2DS XL. It was like there was a small window right when there was a few left this past fall.
I know.
Because they were still new, and they were $100 at Walmart.
I know.
For like
I remember seeing it. I remember going, why do I need this? I have two. I have a regular 3DS and a new 3DS. I'm like, I don't need it. Kev, you don't need it. And now I don't have it, and I can't get it. I want it so bad. I really like the orange and white one a lot. They just look cool. Yeah, I have so many 3DS games and 2D and regular DS games that I still want to play. Because it's such a good little system, and it's making me so mad.
It's either the purple and black or the blue and black one.
What's that?
One of those. I either have the blue and black or the purple and black one.
Well, if you ever decide to sell it, you have a friend in Michigan who's looking.
No, that's the one I keep in my work backpack. I'm ready to show you guys Dragon Quest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the other games I'm going to play is Dragon Quest. So that's on my list of things I'm trying to find is Dragon Quest 4 and 6 are the two I'm looking for. I own 5 and 6. I have 4. Yeah. I played and beat 4. I don't have 5 and I don't have 6, and then I have 7 and 8. And you can't find them anywhere, and it makes me so mad because you can download 3DS games on the eShop, but not DS games. So I have an emulator cartridge for it, and it's just not really the same. And I'm scared that I'm gonna put 50 hours into it and something happens with this dumb cartridge, and then I lose my save. So
Yep.
If anyone knows,
you know where you can download? You know where you can download DS games, like OG DS games?
Where?
It's dumb. It's very Nintendo logic. It's true.
What?
The Wii U.
Wii U.
Oh yeah, but
Wii U.
Wii U still has them.
But they don't have everything. They only have like certain ones, right?
Yeah, they don't, but it's the only place. They never put
Yeah.
DS downloadable games on the 3DS, which would have made perfect sense.
Yeah, they have a
They
few,
put them
but
on the Wii U.
if they had it,
That really doesn't make sense. I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah, why wouldn't they have put them on the 3DS? It's so.
I'm looking at
Nintendo,
which games are on it.
Nintendo Logic.
Nintendo, yeah, that's good
List
point.
of virtual games. See, I don't have my console. Super Nintendo games. Oh yeah, 64 Game Boy Advance. There's a lot of Game Boy. Here's 31 DS games are available. And see, no, I was like, maybe if they had Dragon Quest on here, I would go do it. But it's a bunch of random.
I don't think they have Dragon Quest.
No, they have Pokemon Rangers, Pokemon Misty Dungeon, Kirby, Mario, Kirby. You can play. Wait, Animal Crossing Wild World. You can play on your Wii U. That's bizarre. That's really
I mean, they
bizarre.
didn't make an Animal Crossing for Wii U, so they had to do something. They just made the board game one that was like Animal Crossing Party.
That's someone don't you have that, Alex? That weird like.
Oh my god! I pre-ordered that like an idiot. I paid full price for that, and I think I'm pretty sure. And I'd please no one take this advice. It's a legal disclaimer, whatever. I'm pretty sure you could have stolen that from stores and they wouldn't have stopped you. Like,
yeah,
it was like $5.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $5, and I pre-ordered it. I remember getting that thing, being like, "Oh yeah, I got it!" Like because it had all these amiibo in it, and I was like,
"Yeah,
I'm dumb," and I order these kinds of things.
These are the same ones. Yeah,
I mean, at least you have the amiibo. Those are worth something now because no one else wanted them.
Well, the Animal Crossing ones. They weren't worth anything for a really long time, and then as soon as New Horizons came out, then they became worth something. So
they're worth a ton now.
Yeah, it was a nice little like nest egg, I guess, on Amiibo. I have.
There you go, perfect. You have some savings. The other thing I did get is I did order. I think the last show I talked about Pokemon Ultra Moon. I think is the one I got. They had it at Walmart near me in like brand new, so I bought that. So now I have every Pokemon game. Oh, look at you. You got your Ultra Sun.
I gotta get it up too.
Where'd you get yours at?
I just grabbed it at GameStop the same day you were talking about Ultra Moon because
I just saved
a few dollars getting it at GameStop, and I like to support them.
Yeah, the only place, everything around me didn't have it. A GameStop by my house didn't have it. I looked at Target. I looked everywhere. Walmart was the only place, and it drove me nuts because I ordered it online. I went in the store to just see if they had any other 3DS games, just to kind of see if they had it, and they did. They had like Zelda, Majora's Mask. They had a couple like the select Nintendo games that are like their ones they had, and they had Pokemon. I was like, oh, I could just buy it here. I'm like, no, I did the order online. I'll just go to the desk and pick it up. So I go to the desk, wait in line 10 minutes, and I'm like, I'm just here for a pickup. I pull my phone out and I have the barcode. She goes, no, honey, you have to go sit in your car. I'm like, but I'm already in here. Like, can I just get it here? No. So I had to go all the way out, go to my car, go to the parking lot, drive around for the lady to bring it to me, which drives me nuts. Like, Walmart, you suck. Because at Best Buy, I order stuff from there all the time, and I just go inside and say I want it, and they just give it to me inside if I'm in there, or give it to me in my car. It's like
it's the COVID rules thing that they're doing right now.
I get they're saying, but it's like what
Yeah, but
the
if you're
store's
already
open,
in there, it doesn't make any sense.
Don't you want me in your store shopping? Like I could have bought other things, but
yeah.
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I think I would have been more mad if she was, or less mad if she was at least nice to me, but she was so rude. No, we don't do that. It's like, okay, we'll just say, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know it's a pain, but could, we have to do it in the car. I'd be like, okay,
probably
no problem.
Not a pain. She probably had it right there behind the counter. Too.
Probably. It made more of a pain because it was behind the glass in the back by the games. I could have just picked it up myself and just left, but I think I already paid for it on my card. So yeah, I got Pokemon. Okay, outside of all that stuff, I finished up Hitman Season 1. The first 6 episodes of the game. Hitman 1. Season 1 of Hitman 1.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So there were 6.
This game confuses me all the time.
It's very confusing. So this one is the 2016 release, and it had 6 episodes came with it, and then they did them like, I don't know if it was weekly or some type of cadence of them releasing the episodes for the levels. So I beat the first 6, which completes the first package without DLC, and actually really enjoyed that game. It was very different than I thought it was going to be. The levels are massive, and the things you can do, it's more of a sandbox than I thought it would be. I thought it was more of, it gives you some ideas of how to do it, and you have to do that. I didn't follow what they told me to do ever. I basically would just walk around for about 45 minutes, learning the level, finding where stuff is at, and then following my victim and haunting them and then taking them out. So it was pretty fun. The deaths, I did where they weren't like cool, crazy deaths like you could do because I didn't follow through and like a lot of the plans that were supposed to, but it was still kind of funny to see what was happening. A lot of saving and loading every time I'd screw something up. You can, I will be talking about this because this is March's game of the month for us. So we'll be talking about all of the different deaths and how we all handled every scenario for everything pretty soon. So you can look forward to that. But the one death I want to talk about as a sneak preview was the very first level. You're at a Paris fashion show, and there's like a walkway, and it's what do you call it? A runway where the models are walking down and stuff. And there's a bunch of different ways you can handle it. You can either get on the runway and try to take people out, or go do all this stuff. And then there's a bar on the side where the people that are gathering there. Well, the guy I needed to kill was like some designer or something. I don't remember what he was, but he was at the bar. And I'm like, okay, how can I kill him? There's people all over here. You're all going to see me. I didn't poison his drink like I was supposed to. I didn't have the right poison. But then I go to the wall, and there's like a switch or something. And I'm like, what does this do? And I click it. And no idea what it was going to do. And a chandelier drops on top of the guy and kills him. And it was so satisfying to just see this. And then everyone's screaming and yelling, and you just walk away casually, and no one has any idea you did it. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. I think this is a game you guys should all check out. If you've got PlayStation Plus, it's a free game that was on there they gave away. And then if you played on your PS5, you have to... so this is where it gets confusing again. If you have it on your PS5 and then you purchase Hitman 3 in the PS5, you can import all of the levels from the first game onto the PS5 version of Hitman 3, and it'll play them all on the PS5 at 60 frames and a higher resolution and stuff. So it looks really good.
Okay.
Excuse me. So yeah, that's something that... And that's what I did. I bought Hitman 3, and then after finishing this, I bought Hitman 2, and I think I'm going to play through those and then play through the ones in Hitman 3. So I'm sure we're going to go into that more, but man, that game was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. This was, trying to think, this was Steve's pick from our game club. So it was something I never would have probably picked up or played at all. I'm kind of glad it forced me to, because I really enjoyed it, and I think I like Hitman now. And the last game that I played, I know Alex is probably good you're going last, because you can kind of talk about some of our surprise announcements we have. Was the game Days...
Yeah, first.
Oh, you're right. Damn it, Mike's last. Well, you're going to talk at the end of the show anyway.
Wow.
Pretend I didn't say that. Let's cut that out. And start over.
How embarrassing.
The game I played is Days Gone. This is a game that I own on PS4, played for a while, and then kind of stopped playing. And on PS5, pretty recently, yes, there it is. He always got it ready. Always got it. They have it running.
I know exactly everything we're going to talk about.
They have it running at 60 frames. I don't know if it's perfect, but it looks damn good on the PS5. And this looks like a next-gen game to me. It runs so well. It's so smooth. The game itself already looks damn good. There's pretty good cutscenes. The story's really good. I don't know why I stopped playing this game. I don't know why this game's not more popular, because this to me seems like it should be like one of the big main faces of Sony. I know they have a lot of first party games, but this one I think should be up there more. It's really good. I'm probably almost halfway through it, but I definitely recommend everybody listening, or you two on the call, to try this out. Have either of you played it? Maybe I should ask that first.
I watched the playthrough. I'm not huge into the zombie thing anymore, and I know I've talked about this. I think one of the other podcasts I was on,
I think you have to.
And it's it was I don't know. I'm just over the whole idea of zombies in video games for me personally, because it's been done so much.
It's done so
it didn't
well
draw
this
me
way,
in,
though. It's so.
But I know, and I was interested in the story.
Yeah.
So I watched a playthrough of it on Twitch. Like day one, I actually had it playing, and I watched someone playing through, because I was excited to see, one, how the game ran, and just two, how good, because it was the first zombie game in a long time I was interested in. But then I watched someone play it through, and I was like, I don't need to spend the money or play it myself.
All right, that's fair.
Which is a flaw in some gaming, but yeah.
That's fair. How about you, Alex? Have you actually played it?
No, I haven't played it. So no, I haven't. Actually, so I am late to the PlayStation 4 scene. Like, I only got my PS4 in like 2019, so like I've got a huge backlog of games to get through. And Days Gone is sadly not really high on my list for the same reasons. I'm like, zombies. Like I am over it. But I will use this as a great segue to say, if you're not over zombies and want to enter our giveaway, we are giving away this copy of Days Gone over on our Twitter. So the details will be up after the podcast. So definitely make sure to check that out. I'll set you all up. Just keep an eye on our Twitter. I think below me is the whatever, the thing that you type in and find us.
The link.
The link, or
There we go.
the whatever, the thing. Days Gone. This is our giveaway of the month. That's why I had it within arm's reach. I don't always have my copy of Days Gone just ready to be like, oh yeah, let's talk about Days Gone.
Just all of the other games.
Yeah, all the other
Yeah,
ones.
just like Metroid. I don't remember this Metroid game. Yeah, let's talk about that. No, but yeah, we're giving a giveaway Days Gone on PS4. I wish I could play it, so maybe you should in my place.
Fair.
Nice.
And now it goes back here for now.
For now, till someone takes it or wins it. Sorry.
We need to talk about Days Gone again.
And that too. Yeah, that was mostly my gaming. I still played a little bit of Ys 8, which is like a game I feel like I should stop because it just keeps going and I want it to be over. But I also kind of like it, so I keep playing it. I'm not sure. It's a weird love-hate relationship with that game. Mike, you're the actual person that's going last. I made a big stink about why you should be going last and headlining, and then I forgot. So let us know, and tell us about what's going on in the background, too, because I see a bunch of Pokemon being taken away from the trainers right now.
Yeah, so that's actually, I don't have any big new games I started this week, but something fun I did do is I've had this small CRT that I picked up from, actually my grandma was trying to get rid of it. And I was like, oh, wow, like that's cool. People are trying to get their hands on CRTs nowadays. They're actually something like retro gamers want. So I got that. I got it set up back here, and I got an HDMI to component converter on there as well, so I can just throw my Chromecast on there and have stuff playing in the background while I'm streaming. But I'm also going to bring my PS2 and Xbox 360 down and hook them up to it so I can play a couple of those games the way they're meant to be played. A game I'm excited to revisit is the original Sly Cooper. I've played through that multiple times, and I think it's going to look good on there.
Classic.
Yeah,
That's a
so I'm
great
really
game.
excited to play through that game. Besides that, this week, I played some Rocket League as usual, because I always do. Then I tried out Totally Reliable Delivery Service, as did it looks like Abigail Higgins in our chat there. It's a really fun game. It's absolutely hilarious. If you've ever played Human Fall Flat, you'll definitely know the controls out of the gate, because it's the exact same thing, but with a lot more chaos. So definitely try that for a good time. It's on Game Pass if you just want to try it out. And I downloaded Trials of Mana on the PlayStation 5. I haven't started it yet, but that's one I've been meaning to start, and it looks like it's not too long
No, it's pretty short.
of an RPG in comparison to every other JRPG that you could play.
Yeah, it is quite short.
It's a dumb question. On the PS5, is it the 16-bit version or the remake?
The remake.
Remake.
You can, I think you can get both, but the one I downloaded
Okay.
is the remake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I was excited to try it out. Ever since it came out, I think, was it mid 2019 or was it last year that they brought it back out? But I was excited to go try it out.
It might have been last
Yeah.
year.
I think it was. I think it was like middle of summer last year.
It sounds like I played it pretty. Yep, 2020, April 2020. It's been almost a year. Wow, that's
Okay.
time flies. I remember buying this. It was because I played this in quarantine life last year in COVID land. It was a
Yeah.
fun
I think
little
we
game.
can all be forgiven to forget what happened in April 2020.
Yeah, I know.
That was like, I think we're all a little distracted.
Yeah.
Just locked in
True.
the house all the time.
But yeah, that was my week, for at least in gaming anyway.
Cool.
So yeah.
All right. So now we can transition to the fun Bethesda Microsoft themed side of this episode. So everybody turn and switch gears here. So I don't have an actual news story to share for this, but this is just kind of an overall, everyone's talking about it, but it's officially done. Microsoft is now the owner of Bethesda, and what's the parent company name?
ZeniMax.
ZeniMax, yeah.
I always want to say ZenoMax, and I never remember it right. So they own a bunch
We're
of
talking
new
about
things.
Xenoblade.
Oh, there we go. We're back to that again always. But yeah, they own, Microsoft now has a lot of titles in their name. They are now the owners and have the rights to a lot of properties. That is huge. Bethesda being one of the biggest and well known out of the bunches. And what they did, this is now the news story. This is from a couple days ago, but they brought over 20 Bethesda games right onto Game Pass. So after the news of them saying we're officially part of the crew, we're all in here, they pushed over a ton of games. And it may not be a big deal to maybe us who may already own some of these games, but to people who, I mean, Game Pass is starting to be so popular that it's not just, not just the hardcore gamers having it. Like my friends that don't play a lot of games, they're like, "Oh yeah, I got Game Pass. Of course I got Game Pass." I'm like, "Wow, I didn't even know you knew something about this." Like it's now mainstream. Like when my grandma knows what Fortnite is, and it makes no sense because she doesn't play video games. It's just so mainstream. Like these people know, like, "Oh, you have an Xbox, you better have Game Pass," because it's just stupid not to. So it's big news. Some of the games that are coming out that I noticed on here that are pretty big, and a lot of these, there's like three aspects of it as well. There's the PC side of it, because then there's PC Game Pass, the console, which is the Xbox systems, and they also have cloud now, which is really starting to like take off. And I have been falling in love with this, and I have a story about that. But some of the games they've got listed that came to Game Pass, I think this was on the 12th they all showed up, so not that long ago, 2 days ago. Dishonored Definitive Edition, Dishonored 2. They went Doom crazy also, because they've got Doom, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64, and Doom Eternal, and the other, I think, because the other Doom was already on there, wasn't it? Or did they?
The first Doom listed in that list is Doom 2016.
Okay, I didn't know if that was an old Doom, because I saw Doom 2. Then they went through a lot of their Elder Scrolls games, because I know they had Skyrim on there, but it says Elder Scrolls Skyrim Special Edition is now on PC as well, which I think it was only on Xbox. It's also on cloud. Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Online for cloud and console. There were some talk about it coming to PC as well, but I think there's some issues with that because of the way that the service works. There was something weird I heard.
Quick hint to everyone listening, you can get both Morrowind and Oblivion for like $2 a piece on Steam all the time if you really want to play it on PC.
Yeah. I will say that I did try Skyrim out a couple weeks ago on Xbox Series X, and it ran pretty damn good. And that was without the official like FPS boost and all this stuff. Like it still ran pretty well. I don't think it was like the full 60 frames like it's supposed to be doing soon, which we'll actually talk about in the next story. Then a couple more: Evil Within, Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Just don't play that. Fallout New Vegas, Prey, Rage 2, Wolfenstein, which is the New Order, Old Blood, which is like the side little story, and then Young Blood. So there's quite a few games they just pushed over to Game Pass, and I mean, if you're paying for it, these are all free. So it's kind of crazy. How do you guys feel about that?
If you're paying for it, they're free.
I know, but you're paying, okay, you're paying a smaller fee to play a bunch of games. So you are still paying for it, so it's not technically free, but it's something you're going to be paying for. Let's say you were paying for it because you really want to play the Master Chief Collection, and that's what it's for. So if you're only looking forward to playing the Master Chief Collection, and you already pay for it, and you get all these now, that's just an added bonus on what you're already paying for. So it's
paying
just
for it. It's included. Now.
It's sweetening the deal. It's just making the deal you have even better.
Yeah. Yep.
So
and I think that's the direction they're headed in general. Is they're just going to keep adding these kinds of things.
It's pretty crazy. I mean,
Games Pass has become. Go ahead.
One of the best deals in gaming. I'll finish that sentence.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say Games Pass has become a platform for Microsoft too. Like it's not just Xbox Series X or S or Xbox One. It's Games Pass is a reason to be on Xbox.
Yeah,
agreed.
It's become that platform for them, and it's. I remember when they announced it like 4 or 5 years ago, and at E3, and I'm pretty sure it was at E3. Announced it. I was like, oh, another subscription service. That's not going to take off because they already have like 1,000, and now it's like the biggest thing in gaming. So
it is. They've done a good job taking their time and almost like nurturing this thing they have and slowly adding value to it over time, and just kind of keeping it there. At the beginning, they didn't over advertise it. They just kind of let it be there. They let it do its thing. They let it slowly grow to what it is. And then all of a sudden it got big enough, I think kind of this past year, where it could no longer be ignored. especially with Google Stadia and Amazon's whatever
Luna.
they're Luna, yeah, coming out, and those just being, well, I think both of them, or at least Amazon's, you can download the game to your computer, but in more or less cloud.
Yeah.
And then Xboxes, you can actually download the game, makes it a game changer in comparison to those. But just the library they built, it was like I didn't pay attention to it for the first 3 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, there's like 150 games here I can play.
There's so many, and like exactly what you're saying is it's all of that, and I love Game Pass, so I get so like excited talking about it because it is like the coolest thing, and like there's so much opportunity for like indie developers because they're they put a game on here for a couple months, whatever, it blows up. Some of these people, I never would have heard or played one of these games if I had to not play it through Game Pass. Like to them, yeah, they're probably getting some money to get it put on there, and that might have been more than they would have made in sales anyways because their game would have been advertised, Because sometimes something comes on Game Pass, it's on the front screen when it comes in new releases. A bored gamer like us, I click on it, download it, looks okay, let's try it for free, and it's either, I still downloaded it even if I don't play it all the way through or something, and it's huge for them. I've got friends who don't, they don't buy a lot of games, that they have their Game Pass, but now they're becoming gamers because of this. Like I've got friends that are like, oh, did you play Greedfall? I'm like, how the hell do you know about Greedfall? Like that's a pretty niche, quiet game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was on Game Pass. It was really fun. I'm like, you play Madden. Like, what are you doing? You have no business playing these games. Like, this is great. Like, now we can have conversations about games I think are exciting and kind of, not mainstream.
Things that used to be niche that are becoming more. I think gaming in general, because of a lot of these things, in itself is becoming more mainstream, and not just like you said, not just the main games, but just games overall in general. I think the growth of Twitch has helped change that.
Yes, the narrative of gaming is so different than it was 5-10 years ago.
Completely changed. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, so it's exciting for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
I wanted to go back to Alex, and both you and Alex are actually talking about the streaming stuff, and I think that is Microsoft's secret weapon that they are just holding back right now. And I think in combination, Game Pass is kind of its own thing right now. It's like a downloadable service. It's available here, and here, and they're slowly just starting to push out a little bit of streaming only on mobile right now. That's the only place you can do it, is on an Android phone. Officially, I think they're pushing out some stuff to do it on Apple a little bit through browser, but I don't think it's available to everybody. I think only some of the beta people can do it right now. I really think as soon as if they take this way further and they start making this available on like, I don't know, Chromecast, Fire TV, or any of these different streaming things on a TV, or even like your TV itself through their app systems or their OS and stuff. Like if you can start streaming Xbox games to your TV like that and you just use a Bluetooth controller, that's a huge game changer. Like now all of a sudden, not only because with all the streaming service that exists right now, none of them can do it in a way where you have access to a big library. Stadia is good, it works well, but you have to buy these games. It's not it's not really worth your time. You're buying them. Yeah. Amazon Luna is kind of a weird thing. It's not even really out yet. You have to get a beta for it. They want you to purchase their hardware. Because I got in the beta, I was like, all right, I'll try it. They're like, oh, purchase our special controller and all this. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that. Sorry. Yeah. So there's not a Netflix style. I know that's a huge buzzword everybody uses, but there is not a Netflix style thing for video games yet that you can just stream stuff. And as soon as this comes out past phones, it's going to be huge. And I did try this out. So I have a Samsung, an S21 Ultra, right? And the newer Samsung phones, you can plug it into, if I plug an HDMI, like the HDMI to the USB-C adapter, and then I plug that into the bottom of my phone and then into like a monitor. You have this thing called like Samsung DeX or something like that. I don't know what it stands for, but it like has a small like computer screen, like desktop, that looks familiar to like a Windows PC on the screen. And then in there you can run apps. So last week I plugged my phone into my monitor. I opened up on my phone, which was on the screen, opened up Game Pass, the app, and that's where you can stream stuff. And you can stream stuff and then play touch controls, or you can connect a Bluetooth controller. So I connected my Xbox One controller to my phone, and on my screen I was streaming Minecraft Dungeons, and it worked great. And my mind was blown that it worked that well with it. I mean, it was a little bit janky to get it because I'm using a weird phone thing and plugging into this and all this, but it worked. And
Mhm.
it's telling me right now, like with all the crazy stuff that I did to make this work, it still works well with not a lot of lag. I played Skyrim too. That was the other game I tried, which was awesome to say. This is running from my phone, from the internet. Like, it just blew my mind. But if this is where they can do this, and I'm doing weird things for it, as soon as they push this to, be able to play it on your Xbox console, now you can stream it to that, where you can have it wired, because I can't have my phone hardwired. That's just gonna make it better. You can play it in a
Mhm.
browser on your computer now, on your laptop. This is gonna change things, and I think this
Or
is
like
where. What's that?
you started to allude to smart TVs.
Yeah, same thing.
It
Yeah, on a TV.
come with Ethernet ports.
Yeah, if I got
They,
my LG TV, I just pull my controller out. All of a sudden, I have a library of Game Pass games I can just play in the cloud.
Mm.
It may not be as perfect. Like, I don't know how long it's gonna be until the moment it's perfectly exactly the same as it running natively in a console or PC. But if I can get that pretty dang close, and let's say I got one Xbox, and I don't want to go, I want to play upstairs in my bedroom right now, but I don't have an Xbox up there. I could just stream it, the same games, and it's all cross-save stuff because it's in the cloud through Microsoft. That's the other that's amazing is I played my save file, like I said a week and a half ago on my Xbox Series X, I played Skyrim. I started a guy, I played around for 15 minutes. I was able to play that same save file on the cloud streaming on my phone. It's not like, oh, I have to play it here, I have to start and finish it here. No, all your saves are saved because it's all the same service. It's all through Microsoft. So it's just crazy what opportunity is in front of us. And I know I think Microsoft is taking this very slowly because they saw Stadia crumble with the way they launched their service, the way that their game studio fell apart. And Microsoft they're doing everything right in every angle I see. I see that they still have another 2 years to go out before this blows up is a good thing. They're buying all the game studios because they know they don't have first-party titles. They're doing all this. They're getting Game Pass loaded up. They're getting everybody to know what Game Pass is. They're loading Game Pass up with all the properties that already exist that they own of games. They're buying the studios to have it and fill it more. The streaming stuff is coming along. Like, all this stuff is closing in on everybody else. And they're not making the money right now with all this, but they're pushing their name out there and the marketing, and everyone's talking about it. And I cannot wait. So I'm Team Microsoft all the way.
So I did want to bring this up because of the smart TV thing, and I came back with it, but I thought I saw this a while back. They were selling Xbox One controllers and maybe Series X controllers at some point with the Samsung TVs. With Samsung All Access, which is a program you can get on the TV, and it includes a bunch of different apps like Showtime, Sling, all of that. One of the apps included in that is Xbox Game Pass cloud support on the Samsung TVs. It's already there. And you can Best Buy did deals where if you bought, X Samsung TV, it just came with an Xbox controller.
Yeah, shoot.
So it's already out there. They're pushing it out, and like I said, they're kind of being quiet about it because they're just kind of letting it do its own thing and slowly grow. And then all of a sudden, it's in front of everybody.
I think they're not. Yeah, I don't think they're ready for it to come out yet because I think there's still little things they're working on. But I think that it's like they're getting out to the right people that can talk about it and test it and try it. But this is gonna be. I bet you in 1 year, maybe 2, we'll be sitting here talking about this stuff, and we're gonna be talking about games that we're streaming and now we're not playing because, especially like there's so many things going on in the world right now, like shortages of chipsets and all this stuff. Like, well, we've already got TVs. Why do we need to have new consoles to do all this stuff? Let's just stream it over the internet. I mean, we're all working from home now. Why can't we just play games from somewhere else remotely?
I don't know that we're all ready for that.
I don't know. It's coming. Mark my words.
I think it's coming. I'm not ready for it.
You're
I think for people like us too, like as us, like we've grown up with game consoles. Like we understand, like you buy a console, it plays games, and it does that for 4, 5, 6 years, and then you get a new one. I think that's a real barrier to entry for a lot of people who like. I'm interested in gaming, but like I don't want to buy a box that only does games. Like now they're more media boxes, but like it's still like, why do you buy a PlayStation 5? It's to play video games. You don't. Yeah. It's not your Netflix box. So getting rid of that barrier to entry, I think, is going to like really open up gaming to a lot of people who maybe before were like just saying like, it's not, like it's too complicated or it's just not for me. So it's really a big thing, and like putting it in smart TVs or like having TVs that can just log on to Games Pass is huge. Like, because everyone has a TV, that's ubiquitous, but like not everyone goes out and buys a new Xbox. That's a PlayStation or a Switch or whatever. But you're cutting the cord almost. Like you're making it anything can be a game console, which is it's huge. It's going to be massive for the future. It's not great in some regards, where like people like me who like to collect these things and have them on the shelf somewhere and kind of feel that sense of ownership and protection of that what you buy is always going to be available to you.
Mhm.
That sucks. That's not going to happen in the future. I'm aware of this. Like it's
Yeah, that's the part that scares me as well, is that a service can die and your access to media along with it dies. And that's the scary part.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a change, and I feel like we're gonna be the old boomers now, when our kids and our grandkids are all like, "Why do you need to have all this stuff? Why do you need to have it all? Like, why do you need to have, And we're gonna be like, "We just like to have our physical media," and it's like, I don't know, talking to my dad about like Spotify and telling trying to get him to do that, where my dad has records and cassette tapes and CDs, and it's like, you don't need any of that. Like everything you need is on Spotify, like anytime you need it. And then all of a sudden, like my kids are like, "Why do you need all these stupid cartridges, Dad?" I'm like, "No, I just need to have them. I don't know." And it's
I'm ready.
I'm picking something random. I have no idea what I'm grabbing. Make a point. Show me the subscription service where I can play Final Fantasy 3 on DS.
I mean,
like,
it might be
no,
there.
You buy this for a reason.
Not on DS, but you can play that everywhere.
Yeah, you can play that.
That might have been the
pick
way.
up your, That's not a very good one. You can play that on your.
This game is actually really bad, but.
Yeah, you said that. Okay, I was really upset about that because that's the one I have on DS. You try again. That one's available everywhere.
Elite Beat Agents on the DS.
It's
Where
true.
will you find?
I think the thing you're doing wrong is you're picking Nintendo games, and that's like they're behind everything in new technology. They're gonna ride out the old cartridge wave forever. But like Sony and Microsoft and stuff, like PC, all these things, it's all gonna be digital soon. I mean, PC's already adapted it. When was the last time you guys bought a PC game on disc?
You don't want to. You had a disc drive in your PC.
Yeah, I don't even. On my previous PC build, I bought a Blu-ray player and I put it in, but I never hooked it up. It just sat in the computer, in the slot, in the bay, but I never hooked up the cords to it. It just sat there, never. Yeah. And then when I needed to use a disc one time because I got married and our photographer, or I'm sorry, it was my videographer, gave me CDs for the footage of the video. And I was like, I'm going to put these on a flash drive and put them in a cloud. And I totally forgot that I have a Blu-ray player on my computer. I went and bought a stupid external drive to just use the CD thing anyways. My dumbass forgot I had it sitting in the computer built in. That's how dumb I am. So no, I don't use CDs on PC.
PC I'm building has a CD, DVD, Blu-ray drive, then a drive, a floppy drive in it, because I've got games on floppy that I'd like to keep playing.
Why don't you just copy them off the floppy onto the computer? And
because it's authentic.
Authentic. I used to
wait 10 minutes to play a game.
So I used to go to my grandparents' house. My grandma had like a bunch of random like old games on floppy. And she had them on like the big floppy, right? Like the whatever size that was.
Yeah, the 12-inch.
Yeah, that one. So I used to put them into the computer. She had an old computer and then a new computer. I would put them into her old computer in the basement we had, copy the files off of those things, and I would copy them onto I had a FireWire iPad. I don't know how I got it onto them. I would copy the games off of there, and then I'd bring them upstairs, and I'd plug my iPod into my grandma's newer computer and play them on there. And she was like, "How did you do this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just brought them up here. I didn't want to play in the basement. It's creepy down there." And I remember I put on World of Warcraft when I first started playing it in like 2005 and 4. I put the entire game on my iPad and I played World of Warcraft off my iPod, not pad. Yeah. I keep saying pad. Off my iPod at my grandma's house because she told me I couldn't install anything on it, and I was like, "It's not installed. It's off my iPod." And that's how I got to play World of Warcraft at my grandma's house.
Yeah, you just had to turn on the hidden file access.
Yeah,
you could drag and drop things on and off of the iPod.
I thought it was great. I used it as just like a storage device because I had the 80 gig version of it. So,
yeah.
Crazy story. Anyways, yeah, after media. So yeah, that's crazy depth about all this. One of the added stories, which is kind of an add-on. Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Is that the iPad? God damn it. Guy Pod Video. Is that one?
Yeah, that's the video. Oh man, where's my black and white 20 gig?
Okay, how big is it?
the brick, the 20 gig black
I have
and white.
I think it's 80 gig version I have with the FireWire cable. It's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, that thing is ancient.
I have a video one somewhere. I think it's
Evan.
downstairs in my basement. What's that?
Evan, before you move on, I want to do a quick plug to one of the games you listed on the Xbox list, the Bethesda games.
As long as it's not Fallout 76.
Should play. No. People should. I'm having a hard time getting my mouth ready to say these words. Play Prey.
Yes,
Oh.
that game is awesome.
It is excellent. It is so good, and no one bought it. Like it flopped.
And
I bought it.
So sad.
Suck it,
It
Alex.
got the frame boost.
Yeah,
Prey is one of the games on the frame.
that's the game I was gonna use
Yeah.
an example actually. So this is perfect to lead into the next story. So
No reason not to play it. It's a gem.
So, adding to what he's saying, Microsoft adds new FPS boost for Xbox Series X and S, which they talked about a couple weeks ago.
Processing.
They talked about having this be on Far Cry 4, new Super Lucky's Tale, Sniper Elite 4, UFC 4, and Watch Dogs 2. So that was like their first games they announced. Additionally, they're now adding this to a handful of the Bethesda games that are coming in, and I can't see where it says Prey, but I just read. Oh yeah, here it is. The games that they're adding this FPS boost to of the new games they just added to Game Pass is Dishonored Definitive Edition, Prey, and then Elder Scrolls Skyrim and Fallout 4 and 76. Prey is going to be running at 60 frames, and the biggest problem I had with that game is I played on PS4, and the frame rate was ass, and the resolution would go up and down all the time, and it was so difficult, and the load times were atrocious. And now, if those things are out of the way, that game is awesome. I had such a good time playing that game. It is very underrated. Yeah, how do you guys feel about this FPS boost thing? Like, does this get you guys excited to play stuff? Do you guys don't care?
I'm just happy they're doing stuff like this with the Series X,
Mm-hmm.
and it's becoming more of a PC in many ways.
A
but
little
that's
bit,
it's
and
not a bad thing as long as they make it just work. As long as you can still just hook this thing up to your TV, and you get the benefits like the FPS boost, the smart delivery of the old games, backwards compatible games that just work. They don't need to be recoded.
It's perfect.
All of that stuff is great.
I was
Do you-
telling
Go on, Alex.
I was telling my brother this the other day because he's looking for a PS5, and I was like, oh, you should really look at the Series X because that's the one I got. And he was like, well, doesn't it have like no new games? I'm like, not right now. You're right. Yes, it doesn't have any new shiny games to itself. And I think it plays them better. I think when it finally gets its Halo Infinite and Gears 6 and all that, they're going to be better. And I think things like FPS boost are just kind of signs that Microsoft built this as a kind of more future-proof system, and maybe the PS5 is, because I'm hearing things already about the PS5 being like, there are some games like Demon Souls. I can't recall exactly where I read this, but there was an article that was like, in Demon Souls, there are points in it where it's pushing that system. It's like it's a day one game. How is it pushing the system? Like, it's kind of like you want a system that has a bit more like room to grow. And I really think that's the Series X. I think it's a. I'm happy. Every day that goes by and new things get added to it, I'm like, I'm happy I got you. I'm not playing any games on you. You're just the Netflix box right now, but I still like you.
I think it's I really think that the fact that let me say this again. I'm so bad at saying so. I guess I get so excited and then I just like blah blah blah. I think having that be basically like a backwards compatible machine is great because a lot of us have a huge backlog of games, and you know, the new features of like the next gen games kind of make you not want to play those because it's like, oh well, everything all that's new is all 60 frames a second. Going back to 30 frames is kind of rough. Like, do I really want to do that? But now it's basically fixing all the games that from last gen that didn't run at 60 frames on console, and turning that into something that you'd want to play. Like, I'm playing Days Gone. Like, that game's not new, and running on a new gen console.
It's gone. I have it right here.
Days Gone. It's going free soon. Yeah. It's just amazing that this is, I think, the first generation I've ever really wanted to play more of the last gen than the new gen. Like, it's really doing a good job making stuff look better, and it's I'm just excited, especially with Game Pass. It's like now we're getting free games of games that came from last generation and beyond, and you may have never played them, and now maybe you want to because, like, why not? It's making it look better. Like, how cool is that?
I am curious, Alex, where you saw the PS5 article, and
Yeah,
I did want to
try finding it again here.
in that I'm wondering if whoever was writing that, I wonder which mode they were running the game in, because you can run it in a visual mode, but it sets it at 30 FPS, or you can run it in a performance mode and it sets it at 60 FPS. There's a little bit of visual fidelity that gets lost there, but it runs at a really smooth 60. And I don't think it's fair to attack either of the consoles if you're running a game in visual mode that they state will run at 30 or less, because as powerful as these things are, they are not 4K beast PCs. They are still a box that you can buy for $500 or less
Yeah.
to put in your home theater. And I think that needs to be, I think people need to be reminded of that every once in a while, because unless you're buying at this point, $800+ graphics card for your PC, and that's just the graphics card, you're not running things at 4K high frame rates. So there's no reason a $300 to $500 box under your TV should be doing that.
Agreed.
I think that's always a good reminder.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
I think this generation especially I think that those reminders are really important, because all those new video cards, like the 30 whatever line, XX line, came out at around the same time as these game consoles.
Yep.
I think there's just kind of this perception that was like, oh, this is gaming now, and it was like, that's PC gaming. It's still very different than console gaming.
Oh yeah, no, the new consoles are roughly equivalent to like a 2060 Super or a 2070, which is a last generation graphics card that cost roughly at new $500, $400 to $500, which makes sense. Yeah, you take a 2-year-old graphics card at $500, and you'd think, yeah, I could fit that into a $500 PC nowadays. And it does make sense that that's how they made it work, how they got that price point.
I don't know, pretty neat. I'm excited for what else is coming for this. Like right now, there's only the handful of games you've mentioned that talk about this boost and using the technology. And like you said, it is older technology, but it's still really pretty game changing that this can happen. Because I actually just bought. This is kind of dumb. I bought Assassin's Creed Origins, the Gold Edition, which is on sale right now in the Xbox store on my Xbox. And it doesn't. I have it on PC. I have the season pass. I have everything. I'm ready to play it when I get to that game because I'm playing them in order. And on PC, it'll run great. I got a 3080. It's going to look beautiful. I can play it great, but I have to turn my computer on. This is a game I like to sit and just kind of dick around and go do a bunch of stuff. And I want to play on my couch. I don't want to have to. I want to be able to boot into the game really quickly, play for 15 minutes here and there, and then just that's how I play that game. So I bought it on Xbox Series X, and it's only 30 frames right now in that game. But I'm pretty confident that this FPS boost stuff is going to be coming to a lot more games, especially because they've already talked about, you know, these Ubisoft titles that they're really pushing, and there's all these rumors of Ubisoft games coming to Game Pass anyways. Yeah. So I'm like, they're gonna give this game some treatment. I have a feeling. So I bought it for $20, and I'm hoping, because I want to play this on my Xbox, and if I could get this game running, it just 60 frames, even if it doesn't look as good as my PC, I'm fine. I just want 60 frames. Like that 30 to 60 to me is so important. I'm hoping, but I'm confident. I was enough to buy it, and I bought Odyssey too. I bought Origins for $20, literally every piece of DLC with it I could get, and then 3 days later they're like, "Oh, the sale's gonna be over in a few days. Do you want to buy Odyssey for $25 with everything?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So I bought that too.
A quick question, just to do with the Ubisoft thing you were just talking about for either of you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think, because Microsoft did say there was one more large acquisition
yeah,
that they had planned, do you think Ubisoft, with all the talk of Uplay merging into Xbox Game Pass, could be that other one? Do you think there's any possibility of that?
I would be.
Let's talk about it.
I would be. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
I don't personally think so, because they have so many games across all 3 platforms. But
but if they, I don't know how. Like, is it just they offer them enough money? Would they say yes? I don't know how does that work? Like, what would you? Like, how did they even buy to Bethesda? How did they come over to ZeniMax and say?
What I was gonna say is, if we went 10 months back, and someone had come onto your podcast and said, Xbox is gonna buy Bethesda, you would have laughed at them.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, good one. So I guess that's I think no one's talking about Ubisoft because of the same thing. They're like, they wouldn't do that. Like that can't happen. Why?
Did they say how much money? Let's see.
I think 7.5 billion they paid for Bethesda.
Yeah.
The thing with Ubisoft is kind of this is just my impression of them, a tier too big to be bought. Like I think you start to get, and like I'm no simple country lawyer,
Right.
but I think you start to get into some antitrust.
I was wondering that
situations if you buy something that big. And Ubisoft is a European company. They're based in Paris or in France at least. And there were even concerns that the EU, whatever council they have, wasn't going to let this Bethesda deal go through.
Right.
Oh, because like, hey, you're getting real big, Microsoft. You're buying up a lot of companies.
Yeah, but where's their limit? I mean, I don't know. Could they buy a majority stake in the company then, and maybe have it that way, and then they're making the decisions? Could that be a possibility?
Maybe. I do think Microsoft isn't. I don't think they're done buying up companies. I don't think they have anything else that they could buy on a level of that is like Bethesda. Because it's kind of like I'm looking at it, I'm like, what other company is equivalent to Bethesda? Activision is bigger than them. EA is bigger than them. Ubisoft is bigger than them.
Yeah.
And then you go over to Japan. It's like Square Enix is incredible, bigger than Microsoft almost, like in a lot of ways.
I think honestly, Sega makes
a lot of sense.
What they're looking at.
Yeah, but I get you're thinking.
Sega makes a lot of sense.
You're thinking of Microsoft games, Xbox games. You're not thinking of Microsoft. Microsoft is big. They've got more than you can imagine. So, and the money doesn't just come from that area. They get, they got to get signed off from the top down, saying that this is good, this is good, this is good.
Right.
Like, I mean,
I think what he's thinking is that it becomes an antitrust, like you were saying.
It could be like that.
Is a little too aggressive.
You can't buy companies that are that big, basically, because someone's going to come in and say you have to brick this up.
It's true, but it does happen.
I think there's a level you could aim for where you
look at Disney. Look at Disney buying up everything, and people are arguing with it, saying that they might have too much. They just bought Fox, but it still went through. It still happened. There's a lot of people that disagree with what it does, but it did happen.
That's an American company buying an American company. Like if we're talking about Ubisoft, that's an American company buying a European company. If they're buying Sega, that's an American company buying a Japanese company.
Yeah, I don't know.
You start to get into this global kind of like, how much control do you have?
Right.
I think Sega's the right size, and Sega they are struggling like financially as a company. That's been in the news. Sega makes sense, I think. Actually, I think if I was Microsoft, if I was Phil Spencer and I was like, all right, who am I buying? I really think that Platinum Games would make a lot of sense for Microsoft.
Ooh, okay. I was gonna say Sega or Konami. Get that Silent Hill remake going.
Oh yeah, Konami oh my god, Konami would be so funny if they bought them. Because Konami.
Let me see.
They'd have a.
Sorry, guys.
I think we lost out.
I know I thought he was like breathing for a second. Well, why he's recovering. So I did find a list online saying 3. Oh wait, there he is.
Back.
There you go. You froze for a second.
Hello. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay. So I pulled up a list here talking about 3 companies that Microsoft could potentially buy next. I won't say number 1 yet.
Rewrite this?
No, this is from Keen Gamer. Never heard of them, but looks like something we would have written actually. Ubisoft is number 2. They said that it's still possible they could buy. That's their thought. And then Bungie's their number 3. To think of what's going on, because they have a history together, but I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good idea for them. They would want it. But number 1 was WB Games, which does seem like they own a lot of random stuff I didn't know about.
That one was what everyone thought the Bethesda acquisition was going to be announced. When they heard there was an acquisition coming, everyone thought it was going to be WB Games. For like 2 weeks before the Bethesda announcement, that's what everyone was guessing. Which would be all of the Batman stuff. There's other stuff.
Apparently there was a leak a couple weeks ago talking about
WB Games does the Lego games.
Oh yeah,
which would be an interesting kind of like dynamic to that.
Mm-hmm.
The same company that owns Minecraft owns the Lego games.
So I'm sorry, I'm like directing some of this. I feel like I was gonna ask another question just based on all of it.
For it.
because so we're talking about all of these companies, and you're talking about monopolization. How do each of you guys feel about exclusivity?
Like, okay, so
Yeah.
this is
It's a great question.
I think it's great, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm trying to think of what podcast I heard this from where they talked about exclusivity. It might have been the one you recommended to me, Mike. I forget. I think it might have been on that show, where they talked about exclusivity, and they talked about it in a way that really made sense. And I'm usually kind of for it in general, like you want to have a console, you want to have a reason. I mean, I always like to think of it from the business standpoint, not just from me, because I mean, these people have to make money. That's the whole point of it. If their shareholders are not happy, then the company doesn't exist. And I work for a big company, so I can see this every day in my life, and I understand what it means. Whereas a lot of gamers, if you don't, it's hard to process that because you think it's just for you. And for like having stuff that's exclusive to your piece of hardware that you need people to buy, and that's how you survive. So I've never been upset about it. I think it's great that there's exclusive stuff that you need to buy a PS5 to play these games, and you need to have a Xbox to play these games. I think it's good. I don't think that's an issue. What do you guys think?
I agree. I agree with everything you just said. I mean, like I grew up playing Nintendo games, as you can tell, or if you're listening, I have a lot of games behind me, and I get that. I get the idea that like what sets a Switch apart from a PS5 that sets it apart from a Series X or S. I get that. Like you want something to sell people on. I do think that they are becoming more timed in a sense. Like unless it's like a strictly first party thing, like this is the new Mario game, this is the new Last of Us, this is the new Halo. Those will stay in their lanes. I'm seeing like a lot of games that are just kind of like more and more. They're like, well, we'll be on PlayStation for like a year, and then we'll go like Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example. Like we'll be on PlayStation 4 for a year, and then it sounds like they're going to PC soon.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that happening more and more, and I do think they have a spot in the industry, but I just see them becoming something that's a bit more like nebulous. Like you won't exactly know if a game is an exclusive forever anymore. Octopath Traveler is an example. Like when that was shown and it was at a Nintendo E3 thing, everyone was like, "Wow, Octopath Traveler, that's going to be a Nintendo exclusive forever." And now it's not. It's on Stadia. It's on PC. I'm pretty sure it's coming out of things too. So like, I think the idea of a full-on third-party company saying like we're making exclusive that will stay forever for you is not going to happen so much anymore. It's going to split off across a bit more. But I do think they're important. I think exclusivity that's your marketing. That's business.
It helps drive
business, baby.
Uniqueness.
Like that's how you're going to like. If there wasn't exclusivity, you would just have open source platforms like PC is now becoming that segmented where you have like your Epic Game Store exclusives and your Steam exclusives. Like it's kind of like going in that direction now.
I think it helps fuel creativity too, because like if you have an exclusive game on the PS5, like you can take advantage of the hardware advantages that PS5 has. The special SSD they have built in, it's made just for the PS5. The controller, you can use a touchpad. You can do stuff like this where if you have a game coming out on the Xbox and PS5, you're not going to have a lot of features that are special for the PS5 version for the most part. It's got to be kind of consistent for both because you don't want to, upset your fans on one system or the other because you want them to both sell and you want to make everybody happy. I think that it sometimes is important for these, whoever, even third party or first party making the game, you want to be able to have some type of advantage about what your tools, I guess. What can you do to make it, I think that makes it different. I'm trying to think of an example as I'm blabbering on about this, but like Days Gone as a game, I know we keep coming back to it. It's on the shelf. It's on your.
It's gone.
It's on your right. There it is. I've been playing that, and you use the touchpad to open up your inventory. You swipe up, down, left, or right on the touchpad, and it opens up different parts of the menu. Whereas on Xbox, you couldn't do that because you don't have a touchpad. I'm sure you could, just click start and then they could show it at an analog stick. But simple stuff like that, like you can do a lot more because that's an exclusive game on the PS4 and 5 right now.
Not for long.
Exactly, it's coming to PC now too. So
that creativity is really important too because like if you didn't have that, if the Switch didn't have its Joy-Con. If the PS5 didn't have its triggers, it would just be generic consoles. And then why would you get that? Like, why would you like get one over the other? Just buy a controller, buy a box, and play games on it. So I like that. I like that there are games that are unique to this hardware, that it would only work on that hardware, and especially for like, I hate to keep coming back to Nintendo. This is supposed to be our Microsoft show, but like Nintendo doesn't make the most powerful hardware. They haven't for decades. So if they were like, oh, but we're getting the same games as everyone else, why would anyone use them as like if it was like, hey, yeah, you could play The Witcher 3 and you could play that Ubisoft. I forget the name of Gods and Monsters, whatever it's called now.
Oh yeah,
Phoenix
Rising.
Yeah, I remember the old name, not the new name. But like, yeah, those function on Switch, but they're not best on Switch. So like, why would you? If that was everything, why would you even go in for a Switch? So I think those, like you're saying, Kevin, those exclusives that play to a console's strength are the important ones.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's
yeah.
There are people that are going to argue because it's like the people that are upset about exclusives are people that only own a PS4. You know, that's I want to play Halo really bad. Why can't I play Halo? Well, it's just how it is, bud. Like that's the rules.
I want to trigger some people.
Uh-oh.
I want to get some people really upset right now because this is this is the
I know
exclusive.
I was gonna go there.
This is the exclusive.
That's what you think? We'll see what
When it was announced, people were so mad. And they were like, because it was on a console that no one cared for, and it was a game everyone wanted. It's Bayonetta 2 on Wii U.
Dun dun dun.
I love this. I love that this game. What? Now it's on Switch. It's on Switch now.
No, it is. Yeah.
But back in the day, this was drama. This was the internet's big drama for exclusives. But whatever. Here it is.
Okay, there's one more thing I want to talk about before we close out the show, and it's not really a news story, it's just rumors on rumors, but it kind of deals with Game Pass we're talking about. And I've been seeing this over the last 24 hours or so about a edition of a new game that's coming out fairly soon in the first week of April, I believe, and that it may be coming to Game Pass. Microsoft had, I believe they tweeted it, I better look at actual, not sources, but information. I think they tweeted it, but they show an email from Melissa Make Pass, and they're talking about some type of game.
Is that her birth name?
That maybe she could have changed it. Who knows? Talking about adding. And I'll read the email, and you guys can decipher this. Hey team, so much news today. Hope you don't mind if I add some more. Although it's completely I can't read it. It's too small. Unrelated to the other announcements. That new game has been confirmed and is officially coming to our service. As always, keep this confidential. Before I go, I did have something I wanted to ask. Has anyone else noticed a mysterious signal appearing in the distance lately, or am I the anomaly in this situation? Weird question, I know. Thanks, Melissa. Melissa McGamepass, Executive Senior VP, Lieutenant of General Video Gaming Communications at Microsoft Corporation. So, what everybody thinks that is Outriders coming to Game Pass. And I don't understand any of the connections that people are making because I don't know much about Outriders other than it was a demo I played and I skipped a lot of the cutscenes. But that would be crazy if that came to Game Pass because I was about to buy that on my PS5 and now I don't want to pre-order it because if it comes out in Game Pass, screw it. I'm not spending $70 or whatever it is on PS5 when I can play this game for free.
And to be completely honest, I'm surprised it didn't come out as a free-to-play game to compete with Destiny anyway.
Well, it's not. So this is.
I know it's not.
Yeah, this is like a whole
story in it, and
I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but Zahi and I were going back and forth about this, and he had said that this is not a games as a service or whatever service type game, and
but they marketed it that way.
They did, and that was my argument too. So. Yeah. I don't know. I do feel like this could have been something they like if this is true and this comes out to be true. I almost think that maybe it was dumb they didn't advertise it earlier, but maybe they had to sign an agreement or something to say like, hey, you can't tell everybody it's on Game Pass because we need people to buy this on Sony still and not to screw with them. I don't know, but shoot, I'm gonna be real happy if this comes out in Game Pass. Not gonna lie.
I'm going to be Mr. Contrarian here because I saw that same thing, but I didn't see Outriders being the game that they were teasing. I saw it being the Arkham trilogy, like the Batman games.
Don't you dare say that. I literally just bought that. I just came in the mail 2 days ago.
Yeah, I saw
There was
Batman.
a
Shit.
leak of Arkham, the last one, Arkham Knight, and it shows it has the X optimized for Series X and S.
I
tag
saw
on it
that.
now.
So
And the
okay.
idea is that they would all come to Game Pass optimized for Series
Damn it! Now you're
XS.
making me nervous. Don't tell me that.
Should have
Sorry.
listened to last week's Spawncast, Kevin, not this week's.
Okay, everybody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about Batman Arkham games, and a week and a half ago I tried to get I found it and I was like, you know, I'm gonna finish this game, and I pulled up my 360. I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Played through Batman Arkham Asylum on my 360, done, and I wanted to play Batman Arkham City next. It's the next game I have. I have it on Xbox 360 and PC. Well, I'm trying to run on PC, and it does not really like being played on PC because you have to change all the graphic settings outside of the game before you launch it, and it's been driving me nuts. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. It'll run better on the console anyways. So I bought it on Amazon, and I have the disc downstairs, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play this. And then I saw all of a sudden the MinMax podcast. That's their game of the month is Arkham Asylum. So they're talking about Batman. You're telling me there's other podcasts that's talking about Batman games, and then I saw I saw the article about the Xbox X and S badge on the Arkham Knight game, which is on Game Pass. So I'm like, oh, this is all perfect. But now, if you tell me that these games are about to be free in Game Pass, and I just paid for it, and I paid like $30 for the damn CD, I'm gonna be pissed.
It also falls in line with the possibility of WB games.
Yeah, that's also true too.
Right. Yeah.
There's just so much mystery. I love it and hate it. I want to know what's going on. This is nuts.
Yeah.
To check something. Oh, wrong game.
You have final words on this, Alex, before you close things out?
No, it's coming back to the WB thing, but
WB, like the Pokemon movie playing behind Mike, is from WB Studios or WB?
It's just Chromecast screen now. It ended.
Oh, it ended already? Oh, shoot.
Is it WB?
WB
published
Kids,
Rocket
that's what it
League?
was.
No, Psionics.
The WB logo's on the box. I don't know why.
I wonder. They're not the publisher though.
Oh, they're not, because they're not on the front of the box. I remember, is it because they have like the comic book content in it?
Yeah, I think it's just the
Batmobile?
Switch edition probably because they have the Batmobile.
Yeah.
They had the license for they have flags and stuff. So I'm sure it was part of the licensing when it came out originally on Switch. I don't think it would be on the box anymore because now they're owned by Epic, who has the deal with Disney.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
You can no longer get, I think, the Batmobiles in Rocket League. So if you didn't have them already,
didn't know
I don't think you can get them because of the Epic acquisition.
Jeez.
I've never bought a car in
Crazy.
Rocket League. I was happy with the one I liked.
Fair. I can't say the same.
Like, jeez. All right.
I don't even remember what it was called. It looked like a Hot Wheels.
Alex, do you want to drop the giveaway again one more time before we close out here?
Sure. Yeah. So
he's only picked up, put that game down 18 times.
I'm gonna announce it on. Yeah, no, I'm getting my like workout in, just twirling around to grab it. So it'll be up on Twitter soon, but we're doing a giveaway this month for Days Gone on PlayStation 4, a game that we brought up 1,000 times on the show because we really like it.
It is
even
a good
though
game.
I haven't played it yet. I'm a little sad to give it away. I don't actually own a copy, so I'm like, well, what if I won? But I can't win my own giveaway. So check out our Twitter. The info's below here, but we're going to do a giveaway of Days Gone. Draw at the end of the week, so you got a week to sign up for it, like we always do. But yeah, good luck, and hope you enjoy. It is so okay. This actually, I'll pull it up a little bit. We have had a lot of Europeans, especially entering our giveaways. Since we're in North America, we're always doing the NTSC version. So these can play on your consoles, but just know you're not getting the European version because I'm shipping out a physical copy. So you get what I buy. So, but a few people be like, "Hey, I just got the game, and will it run on my console?" I think PS4, Switch, and Xbox One for when we do giveaways are all region free, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, just don't do DS.
No, I won't do DS games. You don't have to worry about that. Who wants to win a copy of Elite Beat Agents on Nintendo DS?
I do.
I do too. I don't have that game.
It's really fun. You should actually all play it. I'm not giving away my copy of it.
Yeah, good luck finding one too, because DS games are impossible to find. Trust me, I know. All right, guys, thanks for joining us for episode 37 of the Link Cable Gaming Podcast. Mike, thank you for joining us again. Is a friend of the show,
Yes,
Mike
absolutely.
from Mike's Nerd Cave. Mike, do you want to plug anything else for yourself before we get out of here?
I will actually PlayStation hat on. Sadly, I don't have an Xbox thing on right now, but I've been working on my reviews. A little preview for the videos is I'm not doing the final reviews yet for either console. The preview is I don't think they're ready to come out, so instead I'm doing a rant on why they should have been delayed
Okay, that's fair.
until this coming November.
Yeah, you got your. You want to show everybody your mug too? You're drinking. Do you still have that?
That was also a PlayStation
Yeah,
thing.
PlayStation mug,
They kind of
PlayStation
all-
hat.
It came in the same box.
Do you
I
have
just-
PlayStation like slippers on too?
You can't see my feet.
But they're PlayStation slippers.
No, I'm not going to show my feet.
PlayStation
Stop
shirt,
No,
PlayStation
no, I
sweatpants, PlayStation tattoo. Do you have one of those?
No, I don't. I only have one tattoo, and it's not a console.
Ooh, well, that's really depressing.
That's
Thanks
for everyone else to use their imagination on.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. Alex, thank you. As
Absolutely.
usual, we know where to find you. linkcablegaming.com, everything there, and on our YouTube
It's
channel.
me.
And I'm the same thing. So thanks, guys. We will see you guys next time for episode 38. Everybody have a good evening and game on. Is that what we
friends.
say now? I don't know. I keep trying to figure out. We need like a catchphrase at the end. I don't know. See you guys.